It was a crisp autumn afternoon when I first saw her. Kind of day where the air feels fresh and the sunlight filters through the trees in golden streaks. I had been sitting in my favorite cafe for over an hour, sipping on a cappuccino and pretending to read a book. Truthfully, I wasn't focusing on the words at all. My mind kept wandering, distracted by the hum of conversations around me and the soft clinking of cups against saucers. The cafe was cozy, with wooden tables, mismatched chairs, and shelves lined with old books and potted plants. It was the kind of place that felt like home, even if you'd never been there before. But today, something, or rather, someone, made it feel different. That's when she walked in. She wasn't alone. A guy accompanied her, and from the way they stood close together, laughing softly as they waited in line, it was clear they were a couple. She had long chestnut brown hair that cascaded down her back in loose waves, and her eyes sparkled like she knew a secret no one else did. She wore a simple cream sweater paired with jeans, but somehow, she looked effortlessly beautiful, as if she didn't need to try at all. They ordered their drinks, a latte for her and an espresso for him, and found a table not too far from mine. I tried to go back to my book, but I couldn't stop glancing at them. There was something magnetic about the way they interacted. They weren't overly affectionate, yet every word, every smile, seemed charged with meaning. It wasn't just love, it was understanding, comfort, and joy wrapped into one. I couldn't help but eavesdrop a little. Their conversation flowed naturally, jumping from topic to topic. At one point, she laughed so hard that tears formed in the corners of her eyes, and he reached out to gently wipe them away with his thumb. The gesture was so tender, so intimate, that it made my chest ache, not out of sadness, but out of longing. I wondered what it would feel like to have someone look at me the way he looked at her, like she was the only person in the room, the only thing that mattered. As they talked, I noticed small details about them. She absent-mindedly twisted the ring on her finger while listening intently to him. He leaned forward slightly whenever she spoke, hanging onto her every word. They shared bites of cake, feeding each other without hesitation, their fingers brushing against each other's lips. It was sweet, almost cinematic, but completely genuine. At one point, she glanced toward the window and sighed contentedly. "Days like this make me wish we could freeze time," she said, her voice soft but clear enough for me to hear. He smiled, resting his hand on hers. "We don't need to freeze anything," he replied. "Moments like these stay with us forever." His words lingered in the air, simple yet profound. I found myself nodding along, even though they weren't meant for me. How often do we rush through life, chasing deadlines or distractions, forgetting to appreciate the beauty of now? These two reminded me of the importance of presence, the art of truly being there, both for yourself and for someone else. Eventually, they finished their drinks and stood up to leave. As they passed by my table, she caught my eye and smiled, a warm, genuine smile that made me feel seen, even if only for a second. I returned it awkwardly, suddenly aware of how much I must have stared. Thankfully, neither of them seemed to notice. Once they were gone, the cafe felt quieter, emptier somehow. I sat there for a while longer, replaying their moments in my mind. What struck me most wasn't just their chemistry, it was the reminder that love doesn't have to be loud or dramatic to be real. Sometimes, it's in the quiet exchanges, the stolen glances, the shared laughter. On my way home, I thought about my own life. Was I present enough? Did I cherish the people who mattered most to me? Those questions stayed with me long after the coffee had grown cold and the autumn breeze had faded into evening chill. That night, as I lay in bed, I realized something important. Love isn't just about grand gestures or perfect timing. It's about showing up, listening, and finding joy in the ordinary. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. From then on, I promised myself to pay closer attention to the people around me, to the fleeting moments, and to the quiet magic of everyday life. Because sometimes, the simplest things leave the deepest impressions.